Our daily behavior is closely related to our mind. Although this is a known fact, it was the divine who first recognized the importance of the mind. The first 2 verses of the Dhammapada convey this truth. All things are preceded by the mind, led by the mind, created by the mind. If one speaks or acts with an impure mind, suffering follows like the wheel follows the foot of the ox. All things are preceded by the mind, led by the mind, created by the mind. If one speaks or acts with a pure mind, happiness follows like a shadow that never leaves. In these 2 verses, the word Dhamma is used in a specific sense. Simply put, these verses state that our speech and actions are dependent on the state of our mind. Happiness and suffering rely on these words and actions. The connection between these 2 verses is quite clear. The first 5 lines are similar, with the only differences being the words padathina, impure, and pasanina, pure, in the 3rd line, and dukkha, suffering, and sukha, happiness, in the 5th line. Actions and words that come from an impure mind result in suffering, while those from a pure mind bring happiness. Thus, one who desires happiness must transform the impure mind into a pure one, which is something everyone can achieve. Buddhism shows the way to make this transformation of the mind, which is the goal of this teaching. 3 primary defilements corrupt the mind: greed, delusion, and hatred. When the mind is filled with these, we say things we shouldn't and do things we shouldn't. We engage in lies, gossip, and slander, speak harsh words, and commit violence, adultery, or even murder. When the mind is pure, we speak words filled with love and compassion that bring joy to others. We speak to help those in distress and act in ways that make others happy. At that time, our mind experiences satisfaction. Likewise, the impure mind not only causes internal turmoil but also subjects us to ridicule, rejection, and criticism from others, and can lead to trouble. In a society filled with greed, delusion, and hatred, no one can live happily. The violence, murder, and exploitation seen in various parts of the world today, along with the constant unrest people experience, are caused by these defilements of the mind. Therefore, greed, delusion, and hatred not only disturb an individual's peace but also cause social unrest and instability. This truth is repeatedly highlighted in many verses of the Dhammapada. The transformation of the mind, as described above, is like the metamorphosis of a caterpillar, which crawls on the ground and looks unpleasant, into a beautiful, colorful butterfly that takes flight. The human mind can transcend the many shortcomings of the world and soar in the sky, perceiving truth and seeing the vast fields below. By completely eliminating greed, delusion, and hatred, a human can attain such a state. Such a person becomes an arahant, a supremely happy being who will never fall from that state. However, this supreme state is not attainable by everyone. The Buddha, knowing the limitations of humanity, showed a path where ordinary people can also live peacefully. While the complete eradication of greed, delusion, and hatred is possible for an arahant, it is possible for everyone to keep them under control. Many verses in the Dhammapada emphasize this possibility.